Hello, everybody. My name is Torrance Davis, and you're listening to Warzone number 363. Got a couple of interesting news items for you tonight. I also got some announcements to make, some good news and bad news. But I'd like to make these announcements now so that everybody knows ahead of time what's going on. But before that, I'd like to talk about a charity event that's going on this weekend. So there's this game called Splitgate Arena Warfare. It's basically Halo mixed with Portal. I'm going to send you a link here. I'm not even in the restream chat. Give me a second. Here's the link to watch the gameplay. Gameplay is actually pretty sick. It is literally Halo with Portal. So, I am so sick and tired of this stupid restream chat application breaking, and then I have to friggin' reinstall it every time. It's so stupid. It's like every time this friggin' happens. Oh. Give me a second here. You know, this shit really fucks me up, man. We'll be talking about the NPDs tonight. And a couple other things. I gotta get this restream chat working. I swear to God, like once every month I run into this problem. It drives me crazy. Give me a second. This is such a waste of time. I hate this. And I should be able to just download it off the damn website. But I have to look around for it. Chat 1.0. There we go. Okay, so I'm installing it right now. So check out that trailer for the Splitgate game. It's pretty cool. I have a key. I have a Steam key. But I want to give the Steam key away from somebody who's actually going to play the game. Now, you actually raise money for charity by getting kills. So for every kill you get through a portal, they'll donate 10 cents. And for headshots, they'll donate 5 cents, etc. So that's all you got to do is play the game, and you'll be donating to charity. And it's going to be all weekend. So I will be dropping that key in the chat as soon as more people get in. Remember, it's Steam only. It's a PC exclusive. So if you only got a PlayStation or Xbox or a Switch, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. So make sure you're a Steam gamer. I got the stupid chat working. So I'll put it in there. And then we can get going. There we go. All right. Great. What's up, Fat Tuna? And everybody in YouTube land. Who do we got on YouTube? I wish it would just show me who's in here. Can I just see the names? Oh, why does it say I'm offline? Not on the right account. I'm a real idiot tonight. Hold on. There we go. It keeps putting that stupid picture up there, too. There we go. Okay. Oh. Everything's going slow tonight. There we go. So we got Jamal Thomas, Bio 2309. What's up? So anyway, I got so many damn channels. I wasn't logged into the right channel. So anyway, I'll give that key out in a few. But I wanted to make some announcements. I'm still going to wait till a few more people get on here. The Mad Gamer. I don't know who that is. So a couple things. NPD was crazy for June. So the funniest thing that happened in June is that the NES Classic outsold PS4, Xbox One, and Switch in June, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what the numbers were, but I'm assuming that the NES Classic sold at least, 300,000 in June. And it's only $60. So it's going to sell a lot more anyway. But that's nostalgia kicking in. I guess that many people don't know that they could just get all this stuff emulated, but I guess it's kind of cool that you can hook an NES up to your TV via HDMI and play those games on your big TV. That's pretty cool. I think PlayStation won the month again. So 1.8 billion total, up 25% from June 2017. Hardware was 350 million, up 52% from 231 million. PC and console software 374 million. It's actually down 1%. Accessories 353 million, up 38% from 255 million. Accessories 353 million. In other words, accessories outsold hardware. So people bought a lot of controllers and shit. Let's see. Wait, what is this? That's the numbers for June. Here's how 2018 compares to 2017 in terms of year-to-date dollar sales. 6.2 billion compared to 5.15 billion in 2017. Hardware is 1.69, up 21%. PC and console. Software is 2.56 billion, up 6%. Accessories 1.77 billion, up 31%. So Mario Tennis Aces was number 1. God of War number 2 again for the second month in a row. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 3. Can somebody please tell me why people are still purchasing Grand Theft Auto 5? It's not like it's a bad game or anything, but why are people still buying it in droves every month? For this game to be number 3 at this point in time makes no sense to me. Is it that everybody who buys a new console buys Grand Theft Auto 5? It's like the must-have title. Number 4 is The Crew 2. Number 5 is Far Cry 5. Number 6 is Mario Kart 8. 7 is Lego Incredibles. 8 is FIFA 18. 9 is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. And 10 is Detroit Becoming Human. So people are actually buying Detroit. It says Nintendo One is the month's top publisher. So altogether, Nintendo sold more games, which makes sense because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 Nintendo games in the top 20. Sony games, I see 1, 2, 3, and then Microsoft, I see 1 in the top 10. I mean, top 20. So that's the NPD. If you want to know the console breakdowns, I'll just give you the top 10 for each console. Xbox One, The Crew 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, Far Cry 5, State of Decay 2, PUBG, FIFA 18, Rainbow Six Siege, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Call of Duty, Lego Incredibles, PlayStation 4, God of War, Detroit, Grand Theft Auto, FIFA 18, The Crew, MLB 18, Far Cry 5, Vampire, Lego Incredibles, Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't even know what the fuck Vampire is. Nintendo Switch, physical only. They got Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong Country, Lego Incredibles, Splatoon 2, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Kirby Star Allies, and Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Who cares about the 3DS? And I think that's all the important stuff. Another thing. I think Sony is just crossed the 80 million mark in sales for hardware sales, which is pretty fucking awesome. So that's it for sales. That's it for the NPD stuff. Everybody always wants to talk NPD because, well, if you're a fanboy, you want to make sure your console's winning. If you're a numbers head, hey, it's the Real D White, motherfuckers. Were you in here under a different name, the Real D White? Because there was somebody who had an icon just like yours called the Mad Gamer. Oh, the Mad Gamer is the Real D White. Don't be changing your name, man. I get laughs every week from saying it's the Real D White, motherfucker. Don't go changing your game to the Mad Gamer. What the fuck? Why did you change your name? What the fuck? We've been doing this for years now, man, and you're going to go change your name? Why? You fucking shit up, man. You fucking shit up for me. That's part of my enjoyment. Oh, shit. So what did you guys watch that Splitgate trailer? What'd you think? Ain't it dope? It's actually pretty dope. Let's see. Who was on YouTube? We got Renee let me get this right. Renee Covarrubias, Sarah Fan Duma, my number one fan. He says, "Hey Torrance, I finally made it." He wants to be able to bust my balls live. Big Daddy, hey Big Daddy. Sarah Fan says, "Are people still buying VR in very small numbers?" Jamal says it's $20 a week ago. I was thinking about getting it. Was that the Splitfire game? I haven't been on GTA Online. It feels like it's been a year, and I want to get back on. But I've realized that the reason why I'm not playing many games lately is because I took the air conditioner out of the man cave, and I come in here. I don't want to be in here. I don't want to sit in this heat and play games. So I think I'm going to do a lot of gaming this winter. But I don't know. It's just there's stuff I want to play. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'd rather be doing something else or sit in front of an air conditioner. You know, I work so hard as it is. Vampire is a vampire RPG. Looks like The Witcher. Okay. That's what it is. I haven't seen anything about that game. Renee says, "Yeah, I hate that. Don't hate your last name. Wear that on your chest." Renee Covarrubias. Dun, 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 dun. Do you know who you're talking to? I am Renee Covarrubias. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I go fishing. That's right. But I mean, when I'm done fishing and I'm actually home chilling, I want to play games, but then I don't want to play games. It's tough. Renee says, "I have to buy another GTA game. Damn kids left the disc everywhere thinking just going digital. Smart move." Can't fish during the winter. Exactly. And I get a perfect temperature during the winter. It's perfect gaming temperature. Okay. I'm just updating my show notes as I'm going along here, which I should be doing every week, but I never do. Okay, so what else? I said, what do people want to talk about tonight? So Jamal says, Spyro Trilogy, only one of the games are on the disc. Why even bother making the disc? So are you telling me that if you buy Spyro Trilogy, you get one game on disc and the rest are digital downloads? Is that what they do? That's kind of a ripoff. That's kind of weird, actually. What the hell happened to the Restream application? What happened to the chat app? Where did it go? The shit disappeared. The chat app was running and now it's gone. This is what I'm talking about. It won't fucking run. So stupid. Anyway, fuck it. Tired of this bullshit. That app is so unstable. So if that means if you're on Mixer, I won't be... No, I can see your Mixer chats. I won't be able to see your Twitch chats. Oh, well. No big deal. Anyway. So, yeah, I guess you get... the disc is just for one game and the rest is download. Which I really don't think is a bad deal, but the thing is, if you're one of these people who likes physical copies of things, and you want a physical copy of each, you want all your Spyro physical, then you should get it all physical. Because the thing is, if, well, let's say the internet explodes, and you get a new console, how are you going to download the Spyro games? What if you lose internet connection, or whatever? So I can understand why physical people want to keep it physical 100%. Kwame says Octopath Traveler blowing up on Switch. So I guess Octopath Traveler is really doing good. And again, it's a classic RPG style game, and it's really selling good on the Switch. It's so funny because it's like there's no formula to all this. You never know what's going to sell well. Did any of us think that GTA 5 would still be selling at this juncture? We didn't, but it's still selling, but we had no idea. You can never foresee this stuff. You can always say, oh, I think it's going to sell about 3 million or whatever. Or it'll do good, but you never think something would do this great. So here you got this Octopath Traveler Japanese RPG game that's doing really, really good. Did anybody see that coming? I sure as fuck didn't, because, you know, I don't really do the Japanese RPGs anymore. So that's pretty interesting. Let's see. So we got... How did this app just explode on me? That's what I want to know. I hate when this shit happens when I'm in the middle of doing a show. Because I'm a troubleshooter. And it's just like the shit was running. I was using it. It just fucking drives me crazy. So anyway. Jamal Thomas says, yep. Tor, have you ever acquired Warzone groupies? Yes, I have, actually. I have. I definitely have Warzone groupies. Not the kind you're thinking of. Are you thinking about the girls on the tour that, you know, try to get into the VIP lounge with the band members and give them blowjobs and stuff? No, not groupies like that. My groupies are basically hardcore fans. I have a few. There's a few out there. There's a couple. I think Sarah Fan's one of them. But I have fans. I mean, the reason why this show, people are on the show every week, every Friday night, is because they're fans of the show. I don't really think I do anything special. I just get on the mic and I talk shit and I give my opinions on games and whatever's going on, and people enjoy it. You know? I listen to other podcasts. I think I'm different than other podcasts. I don't really think there's any, as far as our circle goes, I don't think there's any podcast that sounds the same, you know, but, yeah, I have some groupies. Sorry's the Great. What's up? So here's the news. So what do you want first? Good news or bad news? Everybody should type. The Real D White says I keep it 100. That's true. I'm completely 100% transparent. All right, so Real D White says the bad news. The bad news is I will be retiring from the Warzone. I've made that decision. Except this time I'm not going to just do it out of the blue and leave you all hanging. So I will be retiring the Warzone. So, what's the good news? The good news is I won't be retiring the Warzone until episode 500. So it's going to take at least until 2021, maybe late 2020, before the show expires and I stop doing this podcast. So there's plenty of episodes left. There's at least one more console launch left. A couple Game-Agains left, so there's plenty left to still talk about, but I'm ready to move on and do other things with my time. And I want to go out on a good note. So episode 500 will be the last episode. So there's plenty of time between now and then. But see, don't let it crush your heart, Futuristic Viper, because a lot can happen in the next couple of years. You could become a millionaire and go off to some island and be spending money. Or maybe you're going to become a heart surgeon or something like that. Or maybe you'll start your own podcast. But don't fret. Just because I'm not going to be doing the Warzone doesn't mean I won't be publishing content. I will still be publishing content. And I don't know what content I'm going to publish, but I still will be doing stuff. In fact, since I won't be doing the Warzone after episode 500, there'll probably be more other stuff that I'll do more often, like maybe Ranosaurus will be a more regular thing. And yes, I'll still be on social media. I'll still be on Twitter. You'll still see me. I'm not going to disappear. But I think it's time. I think 500 is a good number to end this show and move on to other things that I want to do. Not that I don't like it. I love radio. But, you know, you do it. I've been doing this show since 2008. And I've been doing radio since 2006, I think. So I've been doing it for a long time. Not as long as like Wendy Williams or Howard Stern or anything, but I've been doing it pretty long. And I got so many other things that I want to do. And I'm like, you know what? If I want to focus on these things, I need to focus on them. I can't, you know, spread myself too thin. And there's other great podcasts out there. I will be a frequent guest or infrequent guest on the Throwdown once that time does come. So if you do want to hear my vocal opinion on games, you'll probably catch it on the Throwdown when I'm a special guest. Yeah, exactly, Saris. Yep. So I see Sari says, will you make cameos on Throwdown Hip Hop Gamer Tour? And I just got through explaining that, but there's a slight delay, so he'll hear that afterwards. Gotta love the internet. So yeah, so the bad news is that I'm retiring it. The good news is it won't be for a long time. It's going to be at least a year and a half, 2 years before it retires. So we still got plenty of things we can talk about and a lot of cool stuff we're going to do, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But, you know, things get old after a while. That's all. It happens. It's like working a job for 20 years and deciding you want to do something else. So, but I'll still be around. So, as I said earlier, they're doing a charity this weekend on this game that I'm giving away in a couple seconds. The game is called Splitgate Arena, and it is a cross between Halo and Portal. It actually looks pretty dope. There it is. The Real D White says, "You're great to have around. Been around since episode 25. Enjoyed it since then." Wow, he's a long timer. So now I'm going to put the key. How do I do this? How do I put the key in both channels? Okay, I'm going to paste the key in both channels. I'll paste it as fast as possible in both YouTube and Discord. Here we go. You ready? Oh, I lost the YouTube channel. What the hell? All right, so there it is. There's the game. If you have Steam, get it, download it, play it this weekend, and you'll be giving money to charity. I will be playing tomorrow since there's a rainstorm, and I won't be fishing tomorrow. So listen to the Sarabin says, well, you finally did it. It's over. Boy, was it a slow death. So I'll be playing tomorrow and getting some kills in. So whoever gets that code, let me know in the chat. Whoever got the code, be nice to know. What else we got here? I see Social Gamer in there. Oh, Social Gamer is actually watching on Twitch. What's up, Social? So here's another thing. So as you all know, I'm planning a special episode 400. So in episode 400, I want to bring back a lot of people for that show. Episode 400 will more than likely be a 2 to 3 hour show. I want to bring back some old friends and have them on and touch on some things. I'm also planning on giving away some prizes during episode 400. Now, 400 is a lot closer than 500. 400 is probably February, maybe. I got to double check. I got to calculate that. I think it's going to be like February or March for episode 400. And I plan on giving away a lot of prizes and bringing a lot of guests on, so that should be fun. And then we start the road to episode 500. Renee says, talking about hip hop, did he ever accept your God of War challenge? No, he did not. He never accepted it. So, whatever. No big deal. No big deal. Some other news came out this week from Insomniac Games, basically saying that the engine or the ideas from Sunset Overdrive were the basis for Spider-Man. So they figured out how to do a open world and all that stuff. So they took all that knowledge they learned from Sunset Overdrive and put it in the Spider-Man. So if you're an Xbot that's jealous that PlayStation is getting Spider-Man and you're not, you have two things you can do. You could either go get yourself a PlayStation 4 so you can play Spider-Man, or you could play Sunset Overdrive. Sorry, says, think you can get Yassar and Doc Gamer. I don't think so, but I'll try. I really want to get Jagon on the show. I could probably get Dirty Bird on. I can definitely get John Shaw on. I could probably get Anthony Canepa. I could probably get Shaz. I'm going to try to get all these dudes on. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So that's why I'm planning way ahead of time, because I want it to be crazy and hilarious and all that stuff. So it should be fun. So now you guys know what's going on. And I gave you plenty of lead time. I'm not going to leave you hanging like I did last time. And it should be cool. It should be fun. So, what else? I could have sworn there was some other news this week. Besides the craziness that's going on in the world. I did check out Mission Impossible 6. And it was excellent. Really good movie. I think every single Mission Impossible movie that's been released is awesome. When they're done with that series, I want the box set on Blu-ray. That is a Blu-ray I will buy and watch. I really enjoyed the movie, though. Great stunts, great action, good movie. I went and saw it the other night. So I scratched that off my list. Now I need to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp and Equalizer 2. I got to get caught up. What else is going on, people? News has been pretty dead. PlayStation Network was down for a little bit this week. And I think Xbox Live was down for some users this week. If you all are wondering why there were so many console and software sales in June, that is called the E3 effect. Every year when there's an E3 and people catch the streams and stuff like that, they, kind of get crazy for video games and sales go up in June. Every single year there's a huge jump in June, and then it goes down until Gameageddon, which is the fall of that year. And I think Gameageddon starts September this year, officially or unofficially. So sales are going to spike during the holiday season once again. But you should always know that after there's an E3, there's going to be an increase in sales. So that's why so many units sold, and Nintendo's sales just went fucking berserk on their software. By the way, Nintendo is literally less than 1 million away from 20 million units sold. And I said if Nintendo could sell 20 million units this year, I will buy a Nintendo Switch. But I'm still keeping my ears open to see if they're remodeling the Switch at all, coming out with a new one like they did with the 3DS, because that'll be the one that I buy. Because I'm working so many hours now and I'm doing 12-hour days, I think that portable gaming is where I need to be, and so a Switch would be a good purchase. I'm still playing a little bit of 3DS. I'm playing Fire Emblem Awakening and stuff like that, but I'd love to have a Switch in my bag just to play games like Fortnite and stuff like that. Online multiplayer games that I can never really play handheld before, so I think that'll be cool. Who got the code? Who won did anybody get the code? The Steam code? Did anybody win it? Somebody had to have gotten that code. Is it still sitting out there? Do I need to put it in the chat again? I'll put it on fucking Twitter if you guys don't want it. There it is. If you actually get it and it's in your library, let me know so I can announce it. I want to know who won it. What else? Madden 19 is officially the first Madden for PC, if I'm not correct. And there's been some controversy on Madden 19. I guess there's a song with Kaepernick's name in it, and EA pulled or edited the song so you couldn't hear Kaepernick's name in the song, because they thought that if you can't have Kaepernick in the game at all, that means they had to remove it from the song too. But since the song has nothing to do with NFL, they didn't have to remove that. So this shit blew up really quick one day, and EA put an announcement that they are going to put his name back in. They're going to re-edit it and put his name back in the game. So that's interesting. They really did shit on that dude, though. It's a goddamn shame. But yeah, Madden 19 will be the first Madden for PC. So it'll be interesting to see how it sells on PC, since there are no NFL football games on PC that I can recall, except for coaching games and shit. So that'll be interesting. EA has retired their free games on EA. So EA used to have this free games thing. I forget what they called it, where every month you could just get a free game on Origin. But now, since they've changed their EA Play or whatever it's called, so that it's more like Microsoft's Game Pass, that they got rid of the free games. If you already downloaded free games off of Origin, you can still keep those free games, but in the future, you won't be able to do it anymore. All right. What else is going on? What else you guys want to talk about? Oh, EA Access. It's called EA Access. Thank you. Now, they did upgrade EA Access So now they have a premium version of EA Access, and if you get the premium version, instead of just 10 hours, let me actually get the right EA Access Premier. It's called EA Access Premier. And with EA Access Premier, you can play games like Madden 19, FIFA 19, and more. And they say, we're not talking trials here, so it's not a trial. They're giving you the full game, yours to play whenever you want for as long as you're a Premier member. Plus, get access to an ever-evolving collection of 115 plus more games in your library, the vault, and save 10% on Origin digital purchases. So, for EA Premier, it's $14.99 a month or $100 a year, which isn't a bad price. If you're a person who buys EA games, that's not a bad price. That's the cost of 1.5 games, right? $99 basically. So, let's see, I spent that $99. As soon as Madden NFL 19 hits Premier, I can play it, and it's mine. So Madden 19, FIFA 19, Battlefield 5, Deluxe Edition, and Anthem, you'll get all of those with your Premier days before release. No gates, no barriers, the full game. And it comes with awesome extra content like in-game currency, packs, and early beta access. So I think you get the game a week before anybody else. And like I said, it's not just a trial. You get the full game. You're playing before everybody else, which is kind of interesting because if you're paying for this, then you can start streaming the game before people who don't have EA Premier access. Renee says they still sell Madden for full price. Yes, they are. Of course they are. The thing is, they're still selling Madden for full price because people are still buying it for full price. It'll be interesting to see how much it's going to cost on PC. Actually, let me open Origin now and see if it's in there. So if I go to Origin, games, Madden NFL 19, get the game, Madden NFL 19, so I can get the basic EA access, which we don't want. I can get the Premier, which is the full game, for $99 a year. Or I can get the whole game, just regular digital download for $59.99, so still $60. So basic gives you a 10-hour trial. Let me read this real quick. They have a grid here. Origin access. So for $4.99 a month or $29.99 a year, I get 10-hour trials on all their new games. And I get 10% off Origin purchases. If I go with Premier, it's $14.99 or $99 a year. I get the full game. It's 8 days before. Okay, so 8 days before launch, I get the full game. And I get, for Madden, I get the Hall of Fame edition and full games for every new EA game that comes out, and 10% off of Origin purchases. So it's a good deal. This is where companies are going. I think that eventually Sony's going to change their model a little bit, so it's more like that, because Sony kind of has that in a sense, but it's not the same. PS Plus is a little bit different. PS Now is a little bit different because it's streaming. I think Sony will have a model where you could pay so much a month and get every new game that Sony releases for paying that. I think they'll do it. I think this is the way the companies are going, and I think that's a good thing. Okay, so that's that. I talked a lot about that shit. Ain't that cool? Did anybody win the damn code yet? You guys are cracking me up. Sorry says there's a vid on PS4 Spider-Man out on somebody that has played it to or shows a lot. Oh, so somebody already has an early copy of Spider-Man. It's probably a press person. I'm sure of it. Mm-hmm. Okay. What else? I'm still not getting Spider-Man. I might. I want to find a way that I can get Spider-Man. Like just try the game before I commit to it. Because as I said, there's only one thing I want to do. I just want to swing around the city and stop crime and not have to worry about a campaign. I just want to see guys robbing a bank and then go stop their bank robbery and throw them all in jail. Like I can get on and stop a couple crimes and then turn the game off. That's all I want to do. I see the code Tor, but I don't have a Steam account. I can't believe nobody's nabbed this game yet. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Megajack, what's up? Megajack says, I just sold my entire video game collection minus my PS4 Pro and my PS Vita and netbook and desktop. So what was your entire video game collection?
Two Sega Dreamcast, two Neo Geo AES systems.
Wait. Stop right there. You had Neo Geos?
Yeah.
How much did you sell them for?
The Neo Geos one went for, the guy gave me $250. The other one I got for $180. I sold it.
What games did you give with it?
Oh, the games? I had Magician Lord, Riding Hero 5, all of the Metal Slugs, all of the King of Fighters collection, all of Samurai Warriors.
And it was the AVS?
The console, the old school one with the big cartridges, the AES.
What was the difference between that and the MVS?
The MVS is the arcade board.
Okay. And the AVS is the one they made for home.
Yes.
Got it.
And I sold the other shit one years ago with the handheld.
Yes.
Yeah, I sold that one. I got rid of that for like $60 the guy gave me.
For you guys that don't know what we're talking about because you're too young and have never had a Neo Geo system or never played Neo Geo in the arcade, I'm going to send you a link. It's called Neo Geo AES and MVS Collecting Guide for Beginners. The thing that was cool about these systems is you could build, you could have these controllers, these arcade controllers, and it was just a controller. And then you'd have the system, and you'd plug the giant cartridges in it, and you basically had the arcade at home. So check that out if you're interested. If you want to learn something. Youngsters.
I got rid of everything, man.
So wait, what else? What else did you get rid of? Dreamcast, that, what else?
2 Dreamcast, 2 Saturns, Famicom, NES, Super Famicom, Super NES, Mega Drive CD, 32X attachment. I got rid of everything, man. Everything.
So you cleaned house.
Every single fucking thing.
That's great. How much what was your total take?
$7,200.
Well, say that one more time.
$7,200.
Wow. What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? You gonna buy something?
Yeah, fishing rods.
Oh, you gonna get fishing gear?
Yeah, I've turned to.
You're breaking up. Say that again.
I said I turned to fishing. It's way better.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome to the club.
I'm too old for this shit.
Welcome to the club, man. But see, even if you get fishing rods, you're not gonna make a dent in that money. I'd get a boat.
No, I have a boat.
You have a boat? What kind of boat do you have?
I have a 24-foot bayliner that sleeps 6.
You have a bayliner?
Yeah.
And what kind of outboard you got?
It's a 95 Yamaha.
Holy shit, dude. So you must have it on the coast. That's saltwater.
No, I have it on in the lake. You can take it out to Lake Ontario.
Well, Lake Ontario is like the friggin' ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, Megajack. We're going fishing. I'm booking a trip up.
pretty much.
I'm booking a trip up to Canada. We're going fishing,
I'll go up
dude.
to St. Lawrence to pick you up in
Dude,
Massachusetts.
dude, the damn smallmouth fishing in that lake is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, beautiful bass and perch.
Yeah, man, and you could eat all that shit too out of there. And walleye,
Yep.
man, we gotta plan a trip, man. I'd love that. We'd have a
Yeah.
blast.
You're welcome, man. Anytime.
Oh shit, you got a Bayliner. What year is it? You know what year it is?
95.
Oh, okay.
95.
The boat that we sold was an '85 Bayliner Cobra, and we used it to get our outboard. We got like $1,500 for it, and we paid $1,800 for it.
Oh,
So we got a good deal.
that's a good deal.
Yeah, we were pretty happy. That's cool, Megajack. You video game free. Did you send
Yeah,
Did you sell it all on Craigslist or eBay? How did you do it?
no, I made like a connection to a used mom and pop video game store. There was a collector, and then he made a deal with me. He has like a flea market, if you know what that is,
Yes.
and he bought his collection. But I still have PS4 Pro. I
Okay.
still have my gaming desktop. I still have my gaming netbook,
Okay.
and I have my PS Vita.
Nice.
But I got rid of everything. Which
I heard people are hacking Vitas so you can play like NES games on them and shit. Rikusen was doing that. He got these hacks for his Vita. He's got all these NES games and SNES games on it and shit. I might have to get a Vita again and just fuck around with it.
yeah, you could pretty much put everything on the Vita.
That's pretty cool. I might have to get one again.
Yeah, you can't do that to Nintendo Switch
No.
anymore, though.
Well, no, I heard Nintendo Switch, or no, if you want to hack anything Nintendo, you can do the 3DS with the R4 stuff.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It was weighing on me, man, for a lot of years.
Yeah, you know
It's
what?
like
It's weighing on me now,
it's
too.
about time. It's about time. I just look into the room and it's like, fuck, what the fuck?
I,
I'm living my life for this shit all the time. Like it's getting a little
yeah, dude.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
missing
crazy.
out on everything else, you know.
Yep. It is
Like,
crazy.
don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with collecting, but you know, time is time, and like you know, I had my fun with it. It's not like I'm not a gamer anymore, but you know, it's time to move on and enjoy other things. Like I love fishing, so you know, it's time to move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a picture of my. Here's. Let me see here. I'm gonna post a picture of my. And many people have seen this setup before, but. Hold on a second.
Hello?
Hey, who's this, man? Hey, who's this?
Because the one, the only one.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was just
What's
talking.
up?
We were just talking about you.
Yeah. I kind of hopped in the stream to see what's going on the Warzone. And I
So,
was like, hey, look what they're talking about.
so Megajack, he was talking about how he sold all his old systems, and one of the systems he kept was his Vita. And I brought up the fact that, you know,
Man, nigga, Megajack, what's good?
that you were emulating on your Vita. So what is some
Way
of
to
the,
go.
what is some of the stuff you're emulating? Not the games, but the systems that you're emulating on your Vita.
Sega Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, regular NES, Game Boy Advance, PSP, PS1. Those are the main ones.
Okay.
Those are the main ones. I don't know. I may need, if I want to go back to, like, let's say the Atari 2600, somebody's gonna have to tell me some actual good games on there, because
Right.
I don't know anything about the library of the Atari 2600. But there's this one app, one emulation, I guess, application that has blown up in the past about 3 years called RetroArch.
Mm-hmm.
And RetroArch is I guess it's like an application that takes a whole bunch of emulators and puts it within its application. So when you start up, let's say, Super Mario Land for the Game Boy Color,
It loads the
It
Game
will
Boy emulator. I think I've heard of this.
it asks you between three different emulators. Which emulator do you want to use? And then it tells you the name of the emulator of the person who created it, and you have to choose between those three emulators, and then the game starts. And then I tested the three emulators that they had for the Game Boy, and it was like the first one was like called Gear Boy,
Mm-hmm.
called I can't remember what the second one was called, but when you play it on the second one, it had everything colored in. When you had the big fat Game Boy, and
Yeah.
all of the colors were green and black.
Right.
I started up the emulator, and that's what the fuck it was. I was like, oh god, I don't know if I want to play with this emulator. And then I hopped over to the third emulator, and that one was like in black and white.
Nice.
So I had to test out all of the different emulators that let you choose, because some of them are kind of iffy, some of them don't work correctly, and then some of
Right.
them, like I said, have the little green background. Some of them don't even save state doesn't even fucking work on some of them. So I had to like test out some of them, and some of them work perfectly fine. But that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen an application that just gets a whole bunch of emulators that have been created in the past.
Oh, they've had them. There have been many of those for years. They've had them, but those emulators would like run MAME. They would run the CPS emulator, which was Capcom's emulator. They would run MES, which is Nintendo's emulator. They had they had UIs that would cover all of those.
I've been killing it, man.
They even had one that emulated Laserdisc games.
Laserdisc games.
So you could play
that one.
Cliffhanger, Dragon Slayer, and all that shit. Pretty cool.
Player. I need to find a good version of Dragon Slayer. There's like 7 versions of Dragon Slayer. I'm thinking about settling for the Boo Boo Game Boy Dragon Slayer version.
No, man, get the Laserdisc version.
Laserdisc version of Dragon Slayer?
Yeah, it's the best. There's actually an emulator. I have it. What do I have? No, the one I have is for Cliffhanger, but you can get Dragon Slayer out there, and it's arcade perfect. You just got to look for it. It's out there. That's the best one to have.
Are we talking about the same Dragon Slayer?
Yeah. With Dirk Daring. Dun, dun, dun. Dirk, save me! Right?
I don't think so.
Oh, what are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about was
I
made
love
by
that game.
Was made by
a
who?
company called Falcom.
Oh, what is it? A fucking RPG? Is it Dragon Slayer or Dragon's Lair?
Slayer.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about
never
something
mind.
else?
I was talking about something else, yeah.
Yeah, the best version of Dragon Slayer I heard is on the Sega Saturn.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So your little post in the chat, it's really got me thinking about getting another Vita.
There's been a lot of people on the internets now, grabbing up all the Vitas online.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing a lot of eBay people like, oh shit, I need to hike up the price on my Vitas. And then now the Vita prices are starting to go up on Amazon and eBay, like slowly but surely, because this hacking shit that just started early July. I think that's when it like blew up, like that most recent hack for the most recent firmware.
When I had mine, they didn't have any hacks, and I didn't have a reason to keep it.
Yeah, understandable.
So
man, it's just
now I'm like, man, I can get it and throw all those emulators on it because I already have
Where
all that shit.
Where can I get this hack on the Vita?
Ricosin will lay it all out for you.
I really can, but I'll just give you a YouTube video. Lays out like the first couple steps. It's like a 12-minute video, but it's like extremely easy. With
Oh, the Real Divide. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called Daphne. This dude knows his shit. So, the Real W. White says he's been using that app for years, and RetroArch has a cool PS3 theme. And he says, use the one that uses the Daphne emulator. The Daphne emulator is the Laserdisc emulator.
So, for what console is that? So wait, the console's called Laserdisc?
No, it's called Laserdisc was a medium for arcade games that had like cartoons and shit.
Huh?
You've seen Dragon's Lair, right?
I seen Dragon's Lair. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a cartoon. Games like that were put on Laserdisc because that was the only way you could do those games back then. So they've made emulators that can play those games. So you know how they have emulators that play the old pixel games and stuff like that, like Capcom. You have a CPS 2 or a CPS 3 emulator. Well, they have this emulator called Daphne. That's the girl that you rescue in Dragon's Lair. That's her name. Called Daphne, and it plays the Laserdisc games. And then he says, "Damn, nigga, your setup looks cluttered as fuck." Actually, it's not cluttered. It's pretty organized. Each game is on its own shelf and everything. The only cluttered part is all those discs you see sitting on my Xbox and all the controllers to the left of it. That's the only cluttered part. Yeah, and Daphne will play it perfect. I mean, if you're into Laserdisc games, and it would be really fucking cool if you can get Daphne to run on a Vita. Oh my God, that would be sick.
Well, if he says it runs on RetroArch, that's the app. That's the Vita called RetroArch.
Okay.
And like I
He
said,
says
RetroArch
it does.
Yeah. So
Yep.
all RetroArch does is load up a whole bunch of emulators that it has collected, and so if he mentioned that RetroArch has it, then all I need to do is put it on RetroArch, and then RetroArch will be like, okay, what emulator do you want to use? And Daphne should pop up.
Let me look up Vita on eBay real quick.
Wrong video. Give me a second. I'm about to post the video in the Discord, the Warzone Discord group chat. So if anybody else that's listening to this wants to see that video, head over to the Discord and the Warzone in a second. And it's an extremely this white dude, man. He step by step, man. I was a little skeptical at first, and you know I've done it twice, and I was like, I have full confidence in this dude. And I watched all of his videos. He has a whole bunch of shit that you can like, you know, change up your Vita. You know how I was saying this in the group chat with Torrance. You remember how a lot of people did not want to get a Vita Slim fat, and they said, "Oh, I like the OLED colors on the."
Yeah.
Well, he basically has another video where he walks through the steps for your hacked Vita Slim to modify the saturation colors to make it look just as good as OLED. So I was like, wow.
So they got one here for $205.
So this works on the original OLED Vita?
I guess when they made the Slim didn't come with an OLED screen. Is that right?
Changed the Slim. To make it cheaper, they took out the OLED screen and put an LCD screen in it. And when they did that, the saturation colors didn't look as it didn't have as much saturation in the colors that the OLED did. So like greens on the OLED looked dark green, while on the Slim they just looked light green. I have the and I'm looking at them, and the Slim doesn't look bad in comparison to it. It just looks like the reds on the OLED are more red, and then the ones on the Slim just look like, I guess, just a lighter shade of red. I was like, I don't know why people are complaining about this, especially if you've never had a fat. You wouldn't like, you could barely tell the difference if you don't have them side by side. But if you still did care about that, then you can just follow these steps and make it look just as good.
Interesting.
Change your mind, but if anybody's like, oh, I don't want to get a Slim, because I mean that was literally the only thing that was keeping people on the fat was that right there. Right. The Slim is lighter, it has a better battery, doesn't use that proprietary cable that Sony forced everyone to use on the fat. You can use any micro USB cable and hook it up to your laptop and move content or charge it. Because that was one thing that bothered me. When I first hacked my fat and Slim was just regular, that road trip down to Florida for my cousin's funeral and whatnot, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring my fat Vita and I'm gonna play some emulated games and whatnot. My bitch ass forgot my proprietary cable, so I was like, man, my battery started dying. I was like, oh no, fuck, I forgot my cable. If this was my Slim, I could just use my micro USB cable that I literally bought only for my phone, but I couldn't do that. So I was just like, fuck, man.
Now what's
eventually?
Go ahead.
I was just like, man, at first I was just doing it to test it out. So I just tried it on my fat since I don't really use it anymore as a guinea pig, and it worked. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think it's if I'm I trust everything that's going on the scene now, and that's when I did it on my my Slim also, which has the 64 GB memory stick in it.
Oh shit! They got an orange one here.
I just
$159.
looked at the Carlos.
Oh,
That's
shit.
the one for PSP.
It's orange. It's fucking orange, man. Are you kidding me? They got all these different colors. What? You can pick the color you want. So they got orange, crystal white, piano black, and red.
Did you post a link on Discord yet?
Yeah, post that
Give me a
link.
second.
Somebody's selling one for $300.
Because I was talking to Carlos about it, Carlos Romero, and I linked him a bit earlier. So let me just go to our little chat and then I'll grab it from there.
Okay.
This dude posted a lot of videos about it.
Rickerson must have heard.
I've been having a fucking blast, man. I don't know when the hell I'm gonna get the fucking Advance Wars, but it's on here. It is.
Well, yeah, I saw that. You got to get to that, man. It's fun. That's a fun game to play on the road. Because you could just get in and play real quick.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that type of game.
Think of it like you advance through levels. So you're playing a level where you got to take over, depending on the version you're playing, where you got to take out the army or take over so much land or whatever. And then once it's done, you move on to the next level. So if you're on the road, you can be like, okay, let me get through this level real quick. And you move on through the game. Like, it's not something like you got to dedicate a lot of time to each time you play. That's what's so cool about it. I love it.
Okay.
But it's just turn-based strategy.
All right, found the video and I posted it in here.
Nice.
Okay, cool. I didn't know it was that type of game. I thought it would be the type of game I need to sit down. I'm gonna be on this mission for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna have to pull up some good strategies.
No, some levels will take you 30, 40 minutes to beat.
Like the later levels?
Yeah, some of them get really difficult, especially if you keep losing and you got to start over again. That can be a pain in the ass. But other than that, it's really fun. That's why I'm going through that right now with Fire Emblem.
So they did. I downloaded like fucking 12 Fire Emblems.
Yep. There's a whole
there's like 6 of them on SNES.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking like half of them didn't even. Well, I think almost all, if not all, of the Fire Emblem games that came out on SNES did not come over here.
Right.
And the hacking community, fucking fans, translated and patched them all. So I'm like, I'm good to go for damn near every single Fire Emblem that ever came out. Started bringing Fire Emblem over when the Game Boy Advance hit. So there's like 3 Fire Emblems on the Game Boy Advance.
This is an ad
and then there's a couple on DS.
Monday.com. This is what it looks like.
Dr.
And this
Evil
is what it
said
feels like.
These people like to spoil stuff for PlayStation gamers? What? Tech James?
Who are you talking about? Tech? Oh, huh? Tech James?
What link are you talking about, Dr. Evil?
Tech James that I just linked?
No, it can't be that.
Explain yourself, buddy.
Yeah, explain yourself.
Elaborate on that.
Which link are you
Here's how if he can hear me, here's how I see it, buddy. Sony don't give no flying fuck about no VITA for a long time, right? So I mean, the people that are keeping it alive, the same motherfuckers that kept the PSP alive,
Yep, I agree.
That's the only reason people even like remotely remember the 2 main things people remember about PSP now are the good JRPGs that it had and the fact that you could hack it and fucking do a whole bunch of shit.
Every PlayStation Portable was in its prime when people started doing hacks and homebrews for it. The PSP exploded when people created basically a homebrew market for that system and started hacking it.
And the sales for it rose. And Sony was like, why the fuck are the sales rising? We don't give a fuck about this. They didn't fucking know. The shit was hacked. And now they're going to see the same thing happen with the Vita. But I don't think they're going to see it because majority of the people are gonna get their Vitas off of like eBay and Amazon, and most of it is gonna be like, already bought from like a third party place. So I don't necessarily think this time around Sony will see any like sales rising for Vitas, since
They're all
I definitely
third
know for
party.
I definitely know for North America and like a lot of places that are not Japan, they don't even like produce new Vitas anymore. I think Japan is the only place that produces new Vitas.
Well, if you go
So
on eBay, you can find Japanese Vitas. Like here's one.
my Slim is a Japanese one.
Yeah, PS Vita, PCH 2000, ZA23 blue console, Wi-Fi model, Japan domestic version, brand new, $205. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, which doesn't really matter because once you turn on your Vita, it asks you what language do you want to,
Yeah.
are you in, and then you say English, and then the whole thing's it's an English Vita anyway. The only difference is your circle is enter and your X is cancel, which
Right.
that doesn't really mean shit. If that bothers you, that doesn't really mean shit because it's fucking touch. Like everything on my UI, I use to touch. It's a touch anyway.
Right.
So the cancel and cancel enter X cancel shit, that shit don't even bother me because I touch all my stuff. When you get into the game,
you can modify
it. If it's a game that was, let's say, an American game where X is enter and circle is cancel, when you get into that American game, even if the game was Japanese and that developer, let's say Capcom, and even though that's a Japanese game, in the game X is enter and circle is cancel, when you start up that game, that's what it's going to be. Even though your Vita is, has circle as cancel and X's, and circle is enter and X is cancel, it doesn't matter anyway. So that's really the only difference between a Japanese and a actual North American Slim Vita, which I don't even think you can find those anymore. Those things are are the ones that are extinct.
You can't.
Those are the ones that are extinct.
But for $205, man, that's not a bad deal. And this guy sold on eBay. He sold 160 of them. He's got 4 available. So $205 for a brand spanking new Wi-Fi Slim. Well, Riku, thank you for your insight. Isn't it odd? Isn't it odd that we were talking about the Vita and talking about what you showed me the other day or today, and here you are.
Like I said, I saw the Warzone was going on YouTube, and then I think you said something about what were you talking about? Emulation something.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking. You just finished talking about what I was doing with it. I just hopped in. Hey, they're talking about emulators. What's good, niggas?
Yes. Cool.
Is there a hack that you can put an HDMI out to a cable to a TV?
I think so.
You know what sucks? I think I've told you this, guys, before, that the developer units had the HDMI out.
Yeah, because the fat one, it has that cable right there. But I think that's a proprietary cable, so it's not like, I think someone was selling, one of the developers went online after that whole, had one, they were selling it for like fucking $100 and something. I don't even know why, but I mean, it's not like you guys can't find a Vita TV, if you remember that thing.
Right.
That thing follows the same.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It follows the same guidelines, because all that video shows you is how to get a specific application Vita, and once you load up that specific application, it turns your Vita into a modded Vita. That application can also run on the Vita TV, since the Vita TV is basically a Vita also.
Right.
So,
fuck, I got that too.
But the draw of this is the portability, though, I think.
That is a real draw, but some people want the shit on their TV. Right. And then here's the benefit towards the Vita TV that the Vita doesn't have. On the Vita TV, you can
scale everything.
Do that, but another thing that the Vita TV can do, as far as like the people that are hacking it right now, they are finding a way to, they have already found a way to hook up your external hard drives.
Oh.
And use that as the primary memory thing. So they're putting like fucking 2 terabyte hard drives and connecting it to their Vita TVs and downloading basically every fucking game and put it on there. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Fuck, that's Awesome.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. You know how this whole memory card thing? I think someone created an adapter where it's the size of a Vita game card, and this adapter allows you to put an SD card into that adapter, and you take that adapter and stick it into the game card slot in your Vita, and it'll act Vita to use that SD card that you have in the game card that you put inside your Vita as the primary SD card. So you could go on fucking Amazon and buy a fucking 256 gigabyte SD card if you want that game card, stick it in your Vita, and use that also. So like these hacking
dudes, I love it when I love it when these hacker dudes get a hold of technology and figure shit out. It cracks me up.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of shit, man. They're doing a lot. Like when they fucking hacked that shit early July, they just went ape shit.
Yep.
They're coming out with a whole bunch of retarded shit. Well, I mean retarded in a good way. They're coming out with a whole bunch of retarded shit, man. Like there's this one plugin that they added where if you have a Vita, at the top right of your Vita, you know that there's like a battery icon, right?
Right.
And the battery icon, it shows a little battery icon, and depending on how much battery life you have left, is you see the little green juice bar, if it's full or if it's half, but one little flaw in that is that it doesn't necessarily tell you specifically how much battery you have left. It does not have a percentage up there.
Right.
All it shows is the time and that fucking battery icon and how much juice you have inside it.
Right.
They created these guys created a plugin to where
what? Say that again.
To where it just shows the percentage number right beside the icon. So now it has the time.
But you see how these things are made though. If there's a problem that needs to be solved, somebody solves it. That was a problem. That was a problem.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the main reasons why people love PCs, because they could just mod it and do whatever the fuck they want. So when it comes to the Vita and people hacked into it and they can basically make the Vita fucking dance like a puppet, they can do shit like this. I fucking downloaded. I fucking loved that little thing because I had my the little battery icon said the juice was full. The little green shit said it was full in the battery, but my percentage said I was at 70%. I'm like, what the fuck? If that fucking percentage number wasn't there, I would think that shit was at 100%.
Right.
I fucking put the charger in and made sure that shit was at 100%. So I mean, like I said, they're just coming out with a whole bunch of cool. I'm just gonna continue to look out for what they do next for it. It's cool, man.
When are you gonna sell all your games, Riku?
All my games, man. I might do that shit tomorrow. I might do that shit tomorrow and just fucking download everything, man. I was already downloading a whole bunch of shit anyway. Now it's even worse.
Yeah, you kind of get addicted to it. I was doing that shit back in the early 2000s when I was messing around with MAME and all those emulators, man. I love that shit. I had like 800 games on a DVD. But they were all arcade games.
I completely agree with you as far as the biggest appeal to this is the fact that this is a on the go thing that you can do this with, man. Because pulling it out and just usually when it comes to the Vita games that I play, majority of them I'm playing it because one, I like it. Two, it's a crazy heavy JRPG, and I'm most likely following a guide online. And then three, I'm probably trying to get the platinum trophy, so I'm not trying to miss out on anything that these JRPGs usually try to make you miss out on.
Right.
So when I'm playing my Vita, I'm usually in where I have my laptop or I have some sort of external device that shows me what I need to do to make sure I'm not missing anything. So when that is the case, I can't necessarily play my Vita on the go because I don't want to fucking miss anything.
Right. Yeah.
When that happens.
Yeah.
And a lot of my Vita games, the main Vita games that I play, they are like that. So when it used to come to me going out on the go, I usually didn't even bring my fucking Vita. I would just bring my fucking phone. I'll be on Twitter, and that's it. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really even play my Vita on the go. When everyone was like, oh, I fucking love playing my Switch on the go. I fucking love playing my Vita. I'm like, I don't even fucking play my Vita on the go. Like, majority of my Vita playtime is in my fucking bed, right beside my laptop.
That was my
problem. completely agree. And when you're sitting on your bed playing your Vita, no, a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people are like, okay, well, if I'm sitting on the bed
Why don't I just
and
play on
I
the
have
TV?
exactly, why don't I just fucking play on the TV?
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the appeal of a Vita TV. But I mean, the fact is, if you don't really, especially since you, like you said, a lot of the Vita games got ported to fucking PS4 anyway, so you might as well just play your PS4. And if you want to play that specific game, get it on PS4 and play it on the big screen. You know, unless you already
Yeah.
bought it on the Vita.
Exactly.
But the point is, I can take that, you know, now I can take my Vita on the go and play those SNES games. Just pull it out, play it. Don't have to worry about no damn trophies or fucking. It's most likely a fucking platformer like Donkey Kong.
Right.
Just hop in there, play a couple Donkey Kong levels, and you know, it's a breath of fresh air, man.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I think it's a necessity. Like right now, it's a necessity for me to have mobile gaming available. Like I'm playing games on my phone, and I'm like, I really need to. So I said I got to bring so I took my 3DS out, took the dust off of that, charged that up, and now I really want to get a Switch because I'm always away, doing nothing because it's been so slow because of the type of work I'm doing right now. So it's a necessity now for me to have mobile gaming. Whereas before, when I had a Vita, it wasn't as much of a necessity. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think the only game on my Vita that was a Vita game that I took on the go and I actually had fun playing it. I didn't necessarily have to follow a guide because there wasn't that many missable things in the game. Was Rayman Origins?
Yeah.
That game was a fucking blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know, a lot of my games are, you know, JRPGs. So, but yeah, I got fucking platformers on the shit, man. I'm about to run through all these Kirby's. I'm about to run through all these Donkey Kongs. I'm gonna run through all these Super Mario's. I'm gonna get into Metroid. I'm gonna get into
So
the
somebody help
Castlevania
this
game
child.
before.
Somebody help him.
I've never played a Castlevania game before, man.
Oh,
Everyone's
there
like,
you
"Oh,
go.
fucking, you never play a
See,
Castlevania."
but you know what? See, that's what I'm talking about because you're actually showing appreciation for the classic games. And make sure when you're playing these classic games like Castlevania, I want you to put yourself in that time zone for when we played those years ago and imagine what it's like how we got Castlevania and our minds were fucking blown by the game when it first came out.
And that's why I like playing games from, you know, as far as like that franchise. That's why I like playing the very, very, very first one in the series.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely making my way through the franchise, seeing each and every game grow, it get better. Now it's got color, you know,
Try that
now
with
it's in
The Witcher.
16-bit. With The Witcher?
Try it
Oh,
with The
geez.
Witcher. You'll throw that disc out the window. Trust me.
Witcher 1, when did Witcher 1 come out?
Good question. Witcher 1.
I don't hear anyone talk about Witcher 1. It's always Witcher
Because
2 and 3.
everybody hates it. Witcher came out in 2000. Oh, wait. I clicked the wrong link. The Witcher video game. There it is. It came out in
That's the thing.
2007.
Jesus Christ, that's 11 years ago.
The problem
I
with
don't
the
see
game really wasn't as much the graphics as it was the gameplay. The graphics were okay. The gameplay was just really shitty. Like, you didn't want to play this game for 20-something hours.
That's this. There's a lot. There's certain type of franchises. Well, no, certain type of genres that I don't necessarily don't want to go back to and play because I know for a fact that that specific genre has not aged well.
Right.
And like when you're talking about The Witcher 1, that type of genre during that type of time, especially playing it today, I don't know if I could get that much enjoyment out of it. Like Tony was saying, I think he said this on Twitter, and then me and him were talking about this when he was streaming Mega Man when it first came out. 16-bit era, man. That is like out of all of the eras, that is the one era that it is ageless. 100% ageless.
Yeah. That's why
Because
you see
it's like
Go ahead.
it's like the indie games of today.
Yes.
They try to emulate that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Everybody that likes indie games today, all of those indie games are only that good because of the 16-bit era, you know? So a lot of these games like Rogue Legacy, Chasm that just came out, fucking Owl Boy, Knight, what's it called with the skull, Hollow Knight. A lot of these indie games, especially this upcoming month, Jesus Christ, it's like fucking Castlevania indie month. There's a whole bunch of fucking ones, and they're all
Yeah.
referring to, the 16-bit era, which is what I'm diving into right now, man. 16-bit era is fucking
It
awesome.
was the best at the time. It had the best music. It had the best graphics. All the colors. You know, that was giving us really what we wanted at the time. Before we made the jump to CD quality music, before we made the jump to 3D games.
Yeah, well,
So-
that was that of the sprite generation.
Yeah. And the thing is, going into 3D games was painful because going into 3D was like starting over again. It was like going back to Atari 2600.
We'll never have a jump like that ever again.
Yeah.
No, that was the biggest jump ever.
Yeah, it was a huge jump, but at the same time, it set us back.
Because it was like
Yeah.
prestiging.
Yeah, I mean,
it
shit.
was like prestiging in gaming technology for
Yes.
us.
Like
With the
Virtua
start from the
Fighter,
bottom.
like Virtua Fighter when it came out. Virtua Fighter on the home console was dope, but the characters didn't have any fingers. You know?
And they moved super
They
fucking.
all had blocks for hands and shit. Man.
Yeah, so
I remember that.
Yeah, we had to start all over again just to get where we're at now. Whereas
I just platinumed the Final Fantasy VII last month, and Jesus Christ, man, the whole fucking game looked like Lego pieces, man.
Yeah.
I fucking enjoy the game. I can see the hype. Definitely, if I played that shit back in 1997, I would have said that shit was a 10 out of 10. But Jesus fucking Christ, those graphics have aged so badly, man.
Yep.
So fucking badly. I like a lot of games. I like the games that, even though the PS1 was, it was trying to push 3D gaming. I like the games that were on the PS1 that were like, nah, fuck that. We're sticking with 16-bit era.
Yes.
With like Xenogears and fucking Suikoden and Mega Man X.
Why do you
4, 5, and 6.
Why do you think the Sega Saturn was such a coveted 2D machine? Because
You took the words right out of my mouth.
it excelled in areas that the PlayStation didn't in terms of 2D games. If you wanted arcade perfect fighters, you had to get a Saturn. If you wanted arcade perfect shoot 'em up games, you had to get a Saturn. Saturn had the best 2D. Saturn was the pivotal 2D platforming system. If you wanted to play fighters, 2D RPGs, side-scrolling beat 'em ups, any of those games, you had to have a Sega Saturn. If you really
I was
wanted
looking up.
to make,
I was looking up Grandia.
Oh yeah, Grandia. Yep, perfect example.
I was looking up Grandia, and I was about to download it, and I was just trying to make sure I get the best version. And it was the first one that came to my head was the PS1 version, but everyone's like, "Yo, that Sega Saturn version is better." Though I'm like, "Really?"
Yes.
I checked it up, and some dude did a side by side comparison. I'm like, "Oh shit, the Saturn version does look a bit better, man." I'm gonna have to go get the Saturn version. So,
Have you ever seen a game called Dragon Force on the Sega Saturn?
I've heard of Dragon Force.
Check
I haven't seen
that
it.
shit out. That was my shit. Dragon Force was fucking dope. And you know what? If I could, I can still play it right now, but it's painful because I'd have to hook my Saturn up to my flat screen, which is really hard to do. But let me tell you something. Dragon Force was the shit. In terms of turn-based strategy games and war games and collecting characters and building up armies and shit, oh my god, it was the best. Dragon Force. I absolutely
This shit
love
reminds
that
me
game.
of Suikoden a bit.
Yeah, it's are you looking it up right now?
Looks cool.
Yeah, Dragon Force was the shit. And they came out with a second one that I never played, but damn, dude. It was
I don't think I've ever seen a game like this.
Yeah, it's incredible. Watch some of the playthroughs on YouTube. It is so fucking good. Loved it. But I could never finish it because it was such a huge game, man. I just never could finish it. And I still have the save. I still have my save and everything. So if I one of these days I might have to invest in a tube TV just to make it easier to play this shit.
I wonder if I could probably a VITA. Because I know they have a Sega Saturn, RetroRock has a Sega Saturn section, but the only Sega Saturn game I have on it right now was one Sega Saturn game in my Sega Saturn folder. So this would be a good addition. Be a good addition. But I never looked it up. It looks like the top of the screen looks like a fighter. It has the time in the middle. It shows the two characters' health.
Yep.
But when you look at the bottom, it looks like a turn-based RPG game.
Yes, exactly. And it's
It's a whole bunch of
war.
dudes just running
Yep,
around.
Yep. It's badass, dude. I love this game. Oh, it was so
Game's fun.
good. And it obviously used
See if I
their
can grab this shit tonight.
mode 7 plus sprites. It was just dope. And
Yeah,
you'd have
I'll
these
definitely-
wars, and it was kind of like Advanced Wars. Once you took out the army, you could advance. So I was hooked on these games, man. I was hooked on these turn-based strategy games. Always hooked on them, man. All that shit that came out for the Sega Genesis, fucking the Rome game. I forget the name of it. I think it was Warriors of Rome or something like that. I was hooked on all these fucking games. And you look at these.
Gang Ground.
Gang Ground. Loved it. Loved
That
Gang
was my
Ground.
favorite.
Oh, dude. When they made an arcade perfect version of Gang Ground, when I could play that at home, I went crazy. Anyway,
to look up more Sega Saturn big
Dude,
hits, because I'm not really
dude,
knowledgeable
let me
on
tell
like
you
the
something.
library
If
of
you
Sega Saturn.
look up anything from Treasure, anything from Treasure, anything from Treasure, anything from oh god, I gotta remember all the good Sega Saturn guys. The people who made Gun Griffin. Who made Gun Griffin? I forget the name. They were huge on the Sega Saturn. Dude,
Treasure is the
dude,
people that made Gunstar Heroes. Okay, yeah.
Game
Okay,
Arts.
cool.
Look up any Game Arts game for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I definitely heard of Game Arts. Definitely
Dude,
heard of Game Arts.
you've
I think
heard
I
of-
have a few Game Arts. Yeah, go ahead.
You've heard of the Gundam Side Story games, right? Please tell me you heard of Gundam Side Story.
I got it.
Dude, Gundam Side Story. They made all these fucking Gundam games for the Sega Saturn and Sega Dreamcast. They were called Gundam Side Story games. They were published by Bandai, and they were these 3D fucking Gundam games. You were
Those were classics, man.
yes, you were inside the Gundam.
If you like Japanese, that's the fun.
Imagine, so you know your Gundam games that you play where you see you're like it's third person. With these games, you were inside the Gundam. They were just look up Gundam Side Story 0079 and look up all the sequels that came out. I mean, they had some good shit, man. Good shit on the Sega Saturn. I'm telling you, dude.
I definitely heard of Game Arts. Lunar.
Yep. Yep. They're those
I need
guys.
to get. Yeah, and then they did Grandia.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely did my research on Game Arts. I'm looking up more stuff by Treasure, because the only thing I see on here that I know Treasure made and I played was Gunstar Heroes. I haven't played anything. It doesn't look like I've played anything else from Treasure. No, none of these games like even ring a bell.
Okay, so Treasure, you got to get. Let me think of all the shit you need to get through Treasure. I gotta look them up.
Like
Okay, so
Alien Soldier, never heard of it. Might
Obviously, you've heard
Crusader.
of Gunstar Heroes, Ikaruga, Radiant Silvergun, right? But they
I've
also
not heard of Ikaruga. I see
Ikaruga-
Ikaruga here.
Ikaruga is the sequel to Radiant Silvergun. You can get that now on PS4, I think.
Shoot 'em up. Okay. Yeah, the
Silhouette Mirage.
Mirage.
Bangai-O. That's out on the Bangai-O actually released on the Xbox 360. They did a Sylphid game, Ikaruga. They did Gradius games. They did an advanced Guardian Heroes for Game Boy Advance. They did a Gunstar Hero sequel on Game Boy Advance. I had both of those. These guys are nuts. They make such good games. So look at their shit. But yeah, Silhouette Mirage is probably one of the craziest games they made. It's even nuttier than Gunstar Heroes. And yeah, obviously you know about Guardian Heroes. All this shit. They made a Yu Yu Hakusho game. All this shit was dope. All their shit was fucking dope. These guys, they put in work.
They made stuff lately, but it looks like they were going insane back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time they released a game, you had to have it. Period.
Interesting.
Okay.
Shit.
Anybody got any other questions? So Sari says, my cousin had a Sega Saturn, X-Men Children of the Atom, yep, Street Fighter Alpha, Darkstalkers, Eternal Champions, Gun Griffin, Guardian Heroes. Oh my god. What's the game? Oh, the game they have on the Switch is Code Princess. Code Princess was a 3DS game that they ported to the PC on Steam, and now it is available on Switch. And it's basically...
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about Code Princess.
Yep, it's the spiritual successor to Guardian Heroes. It's from the same, pretty much the same developers from Treasure that did Guardian Heroes worked on Code Princess. You could tell. It looks like a Guardian Heroes sequel. And you can get it on Steam. It's on Steam. I have the game. So check that shit out. Okay, people. Did anybody win that fucking Steam game? Did anybody get it? I'll just post the shit on Twitter later. Nobody has a fucking gaming PC anymore. I will see you guys soon. I think I'll be here next week on Friday. I don't have anything planned. At the end of the month, 31st, I won't be here, but I will be here Friday. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Thank you for coming on, Riku-san. And I will see you guys next week. Peace out.